Have you seen the newest dies and stencils from Bright Rosa? I combined hexagons, stencils, and snowflakes from this release to make both seasonal and any-day cards for this video. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Heschek, and I have been a fan of Paula Pascual's since her days with Tonic Studios, and I met her at Kreativation when I was a member of the Tonic USA design team. I admit I have a hard time correctly pronouncing her name, as in Wisconsin we say it Paula, but I hope she can forgive that as I rave about her new line of dies and stencils called Bright Rosa. I'm fascinated with the many positive and negative applications of her dies and their simple, elegant lines. And now Bright Rosa has also released new stencils that are also elegant and can be used for both holiday cards and any-day cards. My first example is a card that could be used for Christmas, but also for sympathy or thinking of you. So all of the cards I'm showing today use the Hexagon Card Die Set. You get 19 dies in this set, and you get a large card base that's folded, and the triangle in the corners, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexagons and a couple stars. And I used those in this card. So this is my first example. I cut a white card base out with that large die, and then the front is a hexagon that you lift up, which I think is very clever. And then I use the cutout die here for the front, and the two stars are raised, and then I did put the triangular corners in as well. So when you open it up, you see those. This is a new die set I'll show you in a minute that has lots of words with both the positive and negatives. And I did some stenciling in the background with what's going to be my favorite stencil, I'm sure, of all time. And I'm not exaggerating, because look at that. Isn't this fun? You could just add a soft background like I did here. And it's called Shine Bright, but it doesn't have to be for Christmas. It can be for any time, and it's just so fun. So I added that soft brushing of color in the background. Wishing You is a memory box die, but the rest of them are from Bright Rosa. And it makes a larger card, but it's not huge. There's an even larger hexagon die that I did not purchase because it looked like it was really big, but this one will fit into your 6x6 square envelopes, or even into your 5.5 by 8, which I would think this would then maybe mail for one stamp, unless you raise that too high, which it might be a little bumpy. If I can feel that bumpiness on there, I just throw an extra stamp on. You can get those that are less than a normal stamp, and so I know that the recipient is not going to have to pay. But if we didn't raise it, this would be a one stamp card, and so all of these cards would fit into either one of those envelopes. Again, here's that die set, and it's just brilliant, and I'm using it in all of the cards today. And there's my new favorite stencil. And then this is the Words die set. It has 18 dies, and it has all of these that you can use. You can cut right out of the front, or you can use these 5 rectangular dotted dies, and then these are layered dies. So again, some of my favorites. So the rest of my cards are Christmas cards with the gorgeous Snowflake Border dies and another stencil called Joy Words. All of my cards are made with my favorite Snowflake holiday color combo of navy blue, white, and silver, but I promise I'll share more cards with these awesome dies in different colors next time. So this is the second card I made, again with the navy. This is the Snowflake Border from this die set, and all those individual snowflakes are from that. And then there's a Noel cut out of white, and then you open it up, and then there's that cool stencil again, and I die cut a couple snowflakes and put them there, and the Merry, and then the Christmas is from another stencil. So that one, and then this one is my last example, except for the one that I'm going to make for you today. There's that Joy Words stencil that I did on the inside of that one. And this one shows the layered Mary and the corners with that stencil, and then Christmas. So you can choose on those words to either layer them or not layer them, of course. And then I put 3 more snowflakes that you can see through it. So this is an example also of an A2 card. So if you really don't like the bigger cards and you want to stick with A2, you can always look at these dies in a different way, and you definitely can make them into A2. And all I did was I cut the front out, and then I basically cut off the bottom. So I made this into an A2 card, but it's still really cool the way you can look through that front and see into the inside. So there's an example of that. This is the card that I am going to make in the video. And it is, of course, using the newest dies and stencils from Bright Rosa. It's an easel card that will lay flat to mail, and then the recipient would stand it up, and I'm hoping you can see that in there. See how cool it is that you can see through that front on the top for the easel. So it's an easel card, and it will stand up. And I'm going to show you how easy that is to make with these very cool dies and stencils. And I'm going to need, nope, I'm going to need this stencil. Get all the materials over here that I need. I'm using my favorite gems from Gina Marie Designs and my favorite bone folder. And I'm also using, I'm going to show you how I use, when I want to pop something up, I just use the waste from the pop dots. I don't let any of that go to waste. Let's just say you don't have to only use the circles. You also can raise something with the other pieces. I'm loving the Easy Cut adhesive from iCraft at Thermoweb. I have had other two-sided adhesive sheets, but sometimes, especially delicate dies, when you go to pull them off, they just get so warped because it's just so, I don't know if it's super strong or what, but I'm really liking the ease of using these Easy Cut adhesives, and especially when you're using like a mirror card, and I am today. I'm using Tonic's Silver Luxury Embossed craft perfect paper. I'm finding myself using this all the time. It's so much, I like mirror card, but this is even prettier because it has that texture in there, and it just really adds something. So I just had to order a bunch more of that. So those are the pieces there. So the first thing that we're going to do is I have die cut the card base out, and it looks like that when it's done. And because we want an easel card, we're going to score from the one point to the other point at the halfway mark. And what I've done is just drawn a line on my score buddy, and so I always know that this is exactly where I want this to be. And again, I'm using my favorite Teflon bone folder. Now we want that to fold down. Should have kept that out there. Oops. Because it's going to be an easel down like that. The next thing that we're going to do, as you can see, I don't have a lot of room here. These, you don't need to watch me die cut snowflakes and the pieces. They all cut beautifully, and I'm trying to save time in my videos by just showing you the pieces after they're die cut. I'm going to be sponging some, not sponging, lightly brushing some color through for that stencil in the back. So I'm going to take some temporary tape and attach that to just a piece of scratch paper. And then this is the stencil that I want to use, and I kind of want the Bright and Merry and the Joy to show. So, and I don't want any stenciling on the top there. So I think I'm going to mask that off. I'm using my favorite purple tape to hold this down. I do use a lot of the pixie spray, but if it's not too detailed, sometimes I just tape it down. And then I want a mask up here. As you can see, I reuse these pieces all the time until they're no longer reusable, right? Okay, and I'm using my favorite Tailored Expressions blender brushes, and I'm using some Memento Summer Sky. And I want to focus on the words and then kind of go lighter out to the edges. So I'm doing Peace and Christmas and Believe. And then a little lighter around the edges. And I like to just lift up from the bottom while it's still kind of taped down and see if I like it or not. The Joy is going to be covered up anyway, so that doesn't matter. But I think everything else is fine. I do kind of want it light. I might want the Bright and the Merry a little more there on the top. My mask is kind of masking that, which is kind of the point, right? And our background is complete. The temporary tape can just be rubbed off with your fingers. We are going to take this beautiful hexagon piece and we're going to glue it to the bottom part of that, but just the bottom part. So I'm going to put some glue on just from the bottom half. Try to get it just in the intersections, although this does dry clear, but you want it to be held down good. And this is good strong glue from the Karen Burniston website. And And then I'm going to line up the center line. I don't know if I should fold that. Maybe that'll make it a little easier, huh? You want to line up the center line. And so when it stands up, but when it lays down, I just love the positive and negative look of that. It's just so cool. And then it stands up, and then you can see through this part here. So I think that's very neat. The Joy, like I said, is on that two-sided adhesive from iCraft, and it comes up very easily. And then we're going to line it up on the navy blue. Sometimes I need to trim the navy off a little bit. I can see a little bit on the top there. Up, because these are exactly the same size. So a little might show. That's all. That wasn't bad. Okay, so we are going to attach this to the card with a little bit higher pop dot material. I think Joy is my favorite Christmas word. Peace, of course, is a great one too, but Joy is just one of my favorite Christmas words. And I'm also going to attach this large snowflake in the center of this with the pop dot. And then I have a snowflake for here and a snowflake for here, and those I think I'm going to attach with glue. I like glue dots too, but they would show through the center of the snowflakes, so I think we're going to have to use glue on this. These snowflakes are so pretty. Whoops, let's get that to stay in the details of them. I have lots of snowflake dies, but these are really, really pretty ones from this new release from Bright Rosa. And then the last step will be to add some gems, and I chose these pretty blue ones from Gina Marie Designs. I love how there's 3 different sizes. It just is perfect, so you can choose exactly what size works for you, and they will all match. So I'm going to use a slightly bigger one, like a medium one, on here. And then I like to add some to the intersections of these, which could be snowflakes or it could be stars, which is one reason why this is so versatile. You don't have to make a Christmas or holiday card with it. You can make just any, you know, as I showed you on the first one that I did. So it lays flat for mailing, and then the recipient will stand it up, and it is a pretty easel card with the beautiful gems and snowflakes. I'm wishing you joy, and on the inside the stencil Christmas piece, and then it stands up like that and lays flat like that. So It is so easy to make unique and elegant cards for Christmas and every day with the dies and stencils in the newest release from Bright Rosa. There are links to all the products I've shown in my description box. I hope my cards have inspired you to check out this new line of dies and stencils. Thanks for watching, sharing, subscribing, and thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.